The next thing, this is very important. There's finding a quality real estate agent. And the reason we speak about that is because in Toronto, there's, I think last count, there's 77,000 realtors. And at the end of the day, you want to pick a realtor who's looking out for your best interest. Okay? And I'm going to talk very quickly about what a realtor does anyway. Okay? So, they're here to provide confidential assistance. They structure the offer, they negotiate on your behalf, they give you advice, blah, 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 and they help you become an educated buyer. But the biggest part of that is, you want to work with realtors, myself or anybody, okay? You want to work with a realtor who's in the business, okay? And that's very important because, like I said, there's 70,000 agents and there are approximately 100,000 homes that sell in 1 year in Toronto. So if there's 70,000 agents and 100,000 houses that sell, it means the average agent is selling 1.3 homes. Okay, if you're selling 1.3 homes a year, well, you don't know what's going on at all. You don't have a clue if the market's moving up this week or down this week, or how interest rates are going to affect any changes that are coming. What was happening last month? Are we seeing activity in the market? Have the buyers disappeared this month? Right? So these are all very important things to know. Have a pulse on the market because it gives you your negotiation leverage. So for example, this week, okay, hypothetically, we're talking right now, end of November. What's going on in the market? Is it a good time to buy this week if you're in the market? Well, depending on the neighborhood, okay, and I'm going to use an example. We have a house right now in Hamilton that we put up for sale. We had about 10 showings, okay, all in the first 4 days. We got a half decent offer. It wasn't great, it was a half decent offer. But, so as an agent, the seller is asking us, is this a good offer? Should we take it? So what do? We need to have a pulse on the market. What else is going on? Are we going to have another 10 showings next week? Or is this it? Is that in this price range, are there only 10 buyers? Very important to know. In this case, that was it. So we decided to take that offer, okay? So then we have other buyers who are working in the same market, and we know that there's only 10-ish buyers in this same price range. So we know we can negotiate hard on behalf of our buyer clients because there's only a pool of 10 buyers in this price range in this neighborhood. Okay, so that's why it's very important. Who you work with has to know that stuff. How do you find one? Well, you should check out their Google reviews, have them give you some references of people they work with, that kind of stuff. They should have access to knowledge of the local neighborhood. So for example, if you wanted to buy in Brampton and your agent lived in Ajax or, I don't know, London or Windsor, they may or may not know that market, right? So you want someone who's kind of Peel region-ish and has a pulse on that neighborhood. And then this is huge, full-time agent versus part-time agent. So a part-time agent is dabbling in the business and they're probably the ones who are selling the 1.3 homes, whereas a full-time agent, they know what's going on daily, they know how to guide you. There's huge variances that if you know what's going on, you can take advantage, and we see that all the time. Volume of sales is the pulse of the market. So you want to talk to them, how many houses do you sell? Because that tells you how much experience they have, how are they going to work for you. So for example, when someone asks my team how we do, we sell one home. This year we did 125 homes. So 125 divided by 365 is approximately one home every 3 days, right? So that's a pulse on the market. You know what's going on. Every 3 days you can see things and the way they're moving. And then you also want a solo agent versus a team. So a team has multiple people in the organization. So the whole team is now working for you. A solo agent means they're the ones calling the showings, they're the ones taking you, they're the ones writing the offer, they're the ones verifying the paperwork, they're the ones taking the photography, they're the ones doing the staging if you're selling, they're the ones, I don't know, right? They're the ones doing all of that. One person can't do all of that. So you want to ideally get a team that's working for you. There's different people that are specialists in everything. So that's very good. Okay, so
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
So when a team is working, is there a difference in the rate that they charge than a sole?
Yeah, good question. So when you're buying, you don't pay anything,
I know, I
right?
understand.
But is there a difference? No, it's actually the same number. So it's just the way teams structure themselves. They have, they build it to scale. So I don't know if I'm explaining it properly, but you don't pay anything. As a buyer, you don't pay anything. As a seller, you shouldn't pay any more than if you were working with a solo agent. So there's huge differences. So like I'll speak to my team because I don't know how other teams work. So we have five buyer agents. Five buyer agents. So not just me, there's five. We have two admins. Okay, so they're handling all of the paperwork. They're the ones taking all the calls because, if I'm on a call with you right now and somebody's calling me, there's a good house to be seen, assuming this was a, afternoon or whatever, I can't do all of that, right? Like I'm just one person. And am I providing value to my client? Maybe half-assed, but that's not. So as a team, you have different people doing their thing. You say you watch my videos. Honestly, I don't even know how to post that stuff. Like that's how bad it is. I don't even know the passwords to all of my stuff. But I have a videographer, a social media person who handles all of that, right? So one person can't be an expert at everything. If I were to make hoppers, it would suck. No one would eat it, right? Because I can't make it. I'm not good at that, right? So everybody has their specialty, and in a team, you get multiple people coming and working for you. Because remember, you're the client at the end of the day. You guys are the CEOs. You sit at the top. And you got your realtor down here, you've got your mortgage broker, you've got your lawyer, you've got your appraiser, you've got your insurance people, you've got your home inspector, you've got all of these people running around for you. Remember, you're the CEO. So the more, what's the word? The more experienced your team, the better you're gonna do, right? At the end of the day. So very important in working with a team or a solo agent that's killing it, like they're doing volume, like that's very important. Okay.
One more question.
Of course.
Do you see people bidding for houses like how it used to be a few months back, even now?
So yes and no. So let's say your house is $1 million. I just use that as a number. So depending on the market, some listing agents will artificially today price it at 800 or 700, thereby bringing in multiple offers. So they're artificially pricing it low. They won't take 700. That's not the value of the house, but they're artificially pricing it low. So in that instance, they may elicit multiple offers, but that strategy is not working in many neighborhoods today. It's not. It's falling apart. So they're listing they want $1 million. They're listed at 700. They may get one offer because the market is very weak today. We're in a buyer's market, so they might get one offer at 800. They want $1 million. So the strategy fails. And when it fails, it looks really bad because now they have to come back to the market and relist at $1 million because they want $1 million. So a good agent can see that strategy failed. They tried 7, they failed. Now they're at $1 million. So we're not going to offer $1 million. We're not going to give them what they want because they didn't get it the first time.
Right.
So those are just leverage strategies, right? So are they bidding? People are trying. 1 out of 10 might be working today. Sometimes they get the number they want, but in terms of how many people are doing it, it's also 1 out of 10 that are doing it. So 10% are doing it, and then 10% of that 10%, which is say 1%, are succeeding. Okay, so the way to sell a house today, like the one I just mentioned to you, we sold it on Thursday and Friday. It's conditional till tomorrow. Listed it at the price we wanted it to be. right? We didn't do the multiple bidding strategy because there's only 10 buyers. You can't get a bidding war going. So it's important to know that, right? So that's kind of, that's how that part works. So there is no buyer, but bidding strategy, okay? Okay. So again, because you're early, I should make this bigger, sorry. Because you're early in the buying process, it's important to become an educated buyer. Very important, because you have lots of time. We should slowly get you educated with, well, here's what this area of Chinguacousy goes for versus Heart Lake or whatever, okay? Like, different areas, price points, what are normal prices. So when you see that $1 million house listed at 700, you're like, I know what they're doing because this is what we talked about. Or if that 1 million house is listed for 1.2, you're like, wait a minute, that's way too expensive, right? So it's all about education, and it's all about education. That's what I think, right? So you want to know your numbers, your stats. You're working with your realtor to understand the market, how it's moving, what kind of offers are we making, what conditions can we put. Very important. Okay, so again, so number 2, when you have found a great deal, because we have taught you what you need to do. So how do we help you become an educated buyer? Well, we start with sending you some homes so you understand pricing. We talk about mortgages and stuff. We talk about protection, right? So that's when you make an offer. How do you cover off the bases? Like, what happens if the roof is going to leak 3 months from now? What happens if water is going to get in your basement? Are those windows really good? Is the furnace whatever? Does your neighbor have rights into your yard? Can Bell Canada show up in to your backyard? These are called easements, and most of the time they can. Is there a train track behind? And I don't know, various things, water rights, that not really, but there's various things behind that. So you want, again, someone who's experienced who can kind of guide you through there. Okay, mortgage pre-approval. So this is the part that's very important as a starting step.